Hi YouTube, long time no see. I've had many reasons, good ones and bad ones, for why I haven't done videos lately. I've been, this last year, very busy. I also have a 3-year-old kid that makes it difficult to find time to make videos. But moved to a different place and never really have gotten set up for it. And yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I received a few questions that I thought I'd go ahead and answer in video and try and kick this thing back off. I'm finding that I have very little motivation to make videos right now, but hopefully we can get that jump started a little bit. First, early text. Someone had asked the question about early texts between Marcion and Revelation. Did I have any others that I was currently looking at as potentially in that time frame? And the only texts that I have back there right now are John, and again I think it's only probably about 20% of John. It could be quite a bit more than that, but I think there's some evidence that some of it is actually considerably later. Possibly Peter, the Gospel of James, which is a proto-evangelium. It's an infancy gospel. And then potentially the Gospel of Thomas, plus the Acts of Pilate and the Gospel of Nicodemus. Those are the Acts of Pilate and the Gospel of Nicodemus, plus, yeah, those John, Peter, James, and potentially Thomas. Those are the ones that I think are critical early. The most critical is John. And the reason why I have it so early is because it is the closest match to the Revelation text. I can pretty much draw a straight line between Revelation chapter 6 and the book of John. And in all of this whole thing, something that's kind of potentially been lost through all these videos that I had done is that Revelation is first. And that determines a lot of things, if you look at the consensus dates, with Revelation at where I've got it, it annihilates every Christian story pretty much before 59. And when we talk about even the kind of secondary texts like the Pauline epistles, it is literally impossible for those texts to be earlier than 59. I know that the consensus ranges it all the way as early as 48. It's literally impossible, and I have not addressed that yet. Some of you have seen my video on the birth story of Jesus, how it appears to have been derived from Revelation 12. I also have the story, and I haven't put it in video yet, but I also have the story of the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus derived from Revelation 6, which means that nobody, literally nobody, knew of Jesus before 59. Period. None of these stories, anyway. And again, we can say that there was a guy back there, if that helps. But the stories were not created until after 59. And that's the earliest limit. That's the earliest possible limit on the resurrection story. So, yeah, that's where I'm at on the early books. And I've got quite a few things that I could do videos about, but again, I've been really unmotivated. My book... my book was mostly complete earlier this year, and then I moved, and I have had very limited time to go through the motions of getting that finished. I'll get it done, I'm sure, but I've just kind of put it on the back burner and let it go. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll just answer them in video. Maybe that'll help me get back into the video making mood. And I guess that's really about it. As far as previous propositions on that I'm looking over again, one of those is Mark. The relationship between Mark, Matthew, and Marcion. I am looking at that one more time. There is a possibility that Mark predates Marcion. That has always been possible. As far as I can tell, the evidence doesn't show that. The evidence doesn't show that at all. Like external evidence, internally it's ambiguous at best, and ambiguity is not good. But I'm going to re-explore that. I'm going to have to be very, very detailed in order to give Mark any type of chance of jumping earlier than Marcion. I really don't care. I think in its current position, it's actually very, very easy to explain theologically as coming after Marcion, but I really don't care one way or another. I think I've got a really good grasp of the, I would call them, four major pre-Catholic theologies, the early Christian theologies that eventually Catholicism borrows most of its information from. So most of its belief system. Anyhow, I'll leave you with that. If you got any questions, let me know, and let's try and get this thing rolling again. Thanks a lot. Bye.